Welcome back to Auto Nerd. This is your host, Andrew Sardo, and today we're going to be talking about a topic that a lot of people tend to avoid. Why? Because it's not easy. It's carrying over commission. Sounds counterintuitive, but it's actually the most intuitive way of going ahead and crushing that sales floor every single day that you come to work. So, in the effort of being a better human being and being able to introduce kindness, empathy, all that fun stuff that a lot of us tend to go, ooh, that's icky. We are going to throw on into this particular podcast and show you how it can make you more money and make you far more successful, and also how you can go ahead and just decimate those surveys with perfect scores every single time. So buckle up, grab a cup of coffee. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the typical stereotype of sales consultant, because this is really one of those areas that we battle on the daily. Because a customer comes in, all of a sudden their guard's up, and we got to figure out how to take that guard down and how we can actually go ahead and start to be able to teach the customer that, hey, I'm in this for you. Because that fast-talking, pushy car salesperson of old, and I know I'm a very quick talker, but that's not quite what we're talking about here. That old school pushy car salesperson, people don't want to deal with it anymore. And it's showing when you take a look at Google reviews, Facebook, Meta reviews, X, Twitter, whatever it might be. You look at where reviews are, and all of a sudden you notice that the positive reviews that come to places like dealerships all of a sudden start dropping off really fast, which means that directly impacts your income. And we got to stop putting forth processes that alienate the customers. So today, customers, as you may know, with this invention of this crazy thing called the internet, are more informed. They're far more cautious. They're trust-driven, and because they're trust-driven and they are far more cautious, they're no longer shopping for a car. They're shopping for a person to work with. And this is something we all got to get wrapped around in our heads, is that when a customer comes in, they don't necessarily care about us, right? We got to care about them, but they have no need to go ahead and care about us. Because the stats do show something pretty interesting, right? 81% of customers say they must trust a brand before they even buy. And then that number gets even higher when it comes to the individual that they're speaking with. Meaning that if they don't like you, they're simply just leaving. And if they don't like you and they buy the vehicle, trust me, if you had to negotiate on this thing, every time you get up to go ahead and negotiate, you are risking your survey scores dropping a little bit more every single time. The reason is that every time you get up, the customer has to re-justify whether you just got up for the right reasons or the wrong reasons. And then when they come back, their whole idea of how to negotiate again is now starting to reset, right? So they're rearming up for whatever additional new information is going to come in. So it's our job to build that trust up very quickly in the beginning. Now, there's a strategy for this. There's an ultimate strategy for it, and I'm going to give you that right now. This is amazing. When I was doing research on this, and even though I've been teaching on this stuff for years and years, 20 plus years or so here, I still go through, I still look at a lot of research. I dip into a little bit of psychological research. I go into sales research all over the place, because this business is not the car business. It's the people business. It's about connecting with the individual that's sitting in front of you. And with this, I found some pretty interesting stats along the way. So one of those is this one. Check this out. Customers with the best experience spend 140% more than customers who have the worst experience. Now, this relates back to what I was talking about way in the past, is that when you have customers that all of a sudden give you killer surveys, you'll notice that your gross profit is higher. Customers that give you worse surveys, your gross profit is going to be less. So when we look at these two, I guess, interesting dynamics, we start to see that when customer treatment is high, customers are willing to spend more. So this is going out to all you owners and managers out there, especially F&I. If you have a high addendum on your vehicles, customers that are treated well tend to overlook that more often. Customers that, when it comes to being treated poorly, try to make up the value proposition at negotiation. So if that is in fact the case, we need to make sure that we take a step back when we're working with our customers and see what that trust looks like at this point. If rapport is not being built, if we are working with a sales floor where management is not allowing sales consultants to build up that trust, you're killing yourselves. I mean, you're shooting yourselves right in the foot by going ahead and not allowing your sales consultants to spend that time and really, I guess, get to know who that person is. If they don't know who the person is, trust, first off, can't be built, right? Human beings love to talk about themselves, so let's just get them talking about themselves. But if 92% of people Trust word of mouth referrals over advertising, and they're coming on in and they're sitting down with your sales consultants. And all we need to do is give them a good time, and all of a sudden they'll spend 140% more than somebody that had the worst survey, the worst experience when they were coming in the front door. It's well worth all of our time to take pause. Now, with this, we have to look at it from the perspective of the buyer. Is that if we're the buyer and we don't like the person that's sitting in front of us and we're about to drop a whole ton of coin on this car, we need to make darn sure that the customer, first off, is on the right one. And secondly, I don't need to redo my job a billion times, because every time we got to step back and go, okay, well, I didn't get that information from you earlier because we were pumpkin patching this thing out, picking on our own car out here that's going to be way too expensive for you. You want a $250 a month? Oh, well, we're at $800. But every time we do this, trust is eroded. Because people tend to think that all of a sudden we are that normal, everyday used car sales consultant. And we've evolved. We just need to show customers that we have. So if 140% more is something that you're looking for, right? You want those good commissions. You want the customer to go ahead and buy the car. Spending more time with them is going to get you to that point, right? Turning and burning your customers as they start coming through that door is not helping you in any way whatsoever. It's just getting you in front of more people that are going to say, well, I don't like this person because they're too pushy. Slow down. I believe in you. I know you can pull this off, right? I know you can sit down today with a customer and start ticking off a bunch of things about their life and then painting those on the vehicle for them, right? This is how trust is built. It's not built on, entirely finding common ground. It's built on getting people to simply just start talking about themselves. And so when customers feel valued, they simply return. And again, like I said, they bring their friends along with them. So with that, slow down, okay? You can do this. I know you can. Now, if this seems a little too odd to you, I get it. When I first heard it the first time, I was like, what? So wait, hold on. You're telling me I slow down, I talk to the customer less, they talk more about things that aren't even related to the car, and I get closer to making a higher grossing deal, and I can do this more often and sell more cars? This sounds counterintuitive, Andy. The first time I saw it, I backed up and I was like, whoa, this part of my brain was going, this makes way too much sense. And part of my brain's going, you got to be kidding me. I'm here to sell cars. No, you're there to establish relationships and have customers buy cars. Very different. As a salesperson, you're there to sell cars. As a consultant, you're there to assist somebody in buying something. Radically different. And the paychecks are radically different as well. So if you want to slow down, if you want to make a little bit more money, I do have a quick little 5-minute fix for this whole thing. And it's not hard at all. The first one is crazy simple. Listen more than you talk. Right now I have tons of rules on this, the 80-20 rule, 90-10 rule, and I can go down the list of things. But when it does come down to it, slow down. You don't need to talk that much. You really don't. We get the customer speaking about themselves, their life, what they want, their goals with the vehicle, and all of a sudden they're going to tell you all sorts of stuff about the car. Now, people do go ahead and they research a vehicle to the point of nauseam, but remember, they hyperfixate on that one vehicle. They don't go ahead and research everything through your lineup. So when you get them talking, there's a lot of opportunity that they know that they can have. They just need to be able to voice it in a way which will give them the ability to listen to us, tell them how we can help improve their lives. Also, by listening more, it gives you the ability to educate them. Don't push them, right? Be that trusted advisor that the customer is looking for. You're not a sales machine. I know many of us, tend to walk around going, oh, I'm a sales machine. I'm number 1 or number 2 on the sales board. Yeah, look at the sales board as like a fun competitive marker every month. And if you're at a dealership that likes to fire the last person on the board, maybe just find another store. Because the thing is that, yeah, we can be railing cars out left, right, center, just cranking them out. But, when I see people that are like 40 cars on the month, congratulations, you sold a lot of cars. I mean, that does take some very supreme talent. But when I look at the gross profit of those vehicles, all of a sudden I see a lot of fall off. And I feel bad for those people because, yeah, you're crushing it. You're absolutely killing it. You're working your bonus program, and I applaud you. But how much money are you leaving on the table to get to the point of where you are? And be honest with yourself on that. Because if you go ahead and you simply bring a customer in and you blow the car out the lowest price possible, you're not helping yourself. You're not helping the dealer. You're not helping your manager. You're not helping out the staff around you. Actually, you're going to kind of be stuck in the same place that you're living with very little improvement in the future, and you're going to burn yourself out really fast. So this is very much a work smarter, not harder type of approach. Spend time, slow down. You don't need to go ahead and talk about the car the whole time. It's not helping you. You don't need to go ahead and burn that deal instantly and blow up your commission, or blow out rather. And then the other one is follow up like a human being, right? Keep in touch in some sort of meaningful way that is going to be appropriate for that customer. You see, when people walk out the door, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to buy. Everybody buys. 100% of the people that walk through your front door are going to buy. The closing ratio of the people coming into your front door today, every single up, is a 100% closing ratio, meaning that they may not buy from you, but they're going to buy from somebody. It may not be today, it might not be this year, it might be next year. But the thing is, everybody buys. Now, I know some of you are going, well, maybe they do die, Andy. Well, yes, you're right. So as the saying goes, yes, they're either going to buy or they're going to die. And that's true. So as far as this goes, slow down. Listen more than you talk. Ask good questions. Get those customers speaking, again, about themselves. Get that life story. As you get it, you can paint it on the car. Show them all the reasons why this car can have transformative change in their lives. And then educate them on it, because they're not all pros, and neither are we. You know, with myself, I study cars, all day long. That's part of my job. But I don't go ahead and tell people, yes, I know absolutely everything. No, be a student of the world, right? Let your customer just tell you absolutely everything about their life and their car and, everything that they've done. And as they do, they will start to trust you. Right? Educate them on how the vehicle can improve their life. Keep in mind, our job is to get the customer's anxieties to drop while also going ahead and getting their ability to say yes to buying going up. Right? We're introducing change in a way that allows the customer to see that, hey, I'm here, I'm going to be kind to you, and I'm going to be caring. And I'm going to make sure that what you tell me is what you actually need, right? But follow up like a human in the end, and don't be that robot that just sends that one canned email like, thank you for coming in. If you need anything else, please reach. No, give the customer a call, right? Send them a text message. Whatever their preferred method of communication is, get with them, right? A lot of times when they leave and they're not coming back, it's not because they don't want to. It's because they may actually be too embarrassed to come back. And so they just go to another store hoping for the best. Give them a call. See if you can help them out. Even if your relationship went south a little bit, it doesn't mean the relationship is over. American Express actually did this thing about playing the long game. And they looked at all their sales consultants, and they were going, okay, so what is going on over here as far as high revenue, right? Our revenue is starting to go up, but what is actually causing this? Is it more people coming on? Because we don't see these numbers spiking right now. And so this survey was done a while back, and what they found is that the old myth, right, quote unquote myth of nice guys finish last is actually completely false. What they found is that the people that showed genuine empathy, showed genuine kindness during the sales process, the automotive sales process, mind you, had the ability to actually see that large spike in their sales, but not just once, 3 or 4 times over, of the customer returning over and over and over again. Now, this 10 to 15% revenue growth that they found was purely attached not to the product, right? Not even to financing. It was purely attached to the attitude that the individual took when you were speaking with them. Entirely different idea on how to go ahead and introduce yourself and work with the customer, right? Get that strong bond set up in the beginning. So if we build that relationship first, get this, the commission kind of takes care of itself. If you've ever heard the term putting the cart before the horse, my adaptation to that is that if we put the commission ahead of the customer, right, the cart before the horse, and then we go ahead and we tell the horse to push, well, the cart, it's not kind of breaks because it's not built for that. If we ask the commission to pull the sale along, the commission falls apart and we don't get a decent commission. Now, if you're not commission-based, but you're still putting the paycheck before the customer, it still has the ability to do the same thing, and the whole thing can fall apart. People buy things based on trust. People buy things based on comfort. People pay at a much higher dollar value for something when they feel that the person that they're working with can actually be trusted. All right, so quick little recap here on all of these crazy stats that I dug up this past week. The first one is 81% of customers say they must trust the brand before they buy. And if you are at a dealership, you are part of that brand, right? Just look at your shirt. You have the dealership brand. You usually have the brand of the manufacturer as well. So, when it comes to this, trust, right? That's a huge thing. Also, get rid of that commission first mindset. It's not helping you. You put the money ahead of you, all of a sudden everything just tends to crumble and fall apart. So when all of these best practices are put in place, customers that have the best experiences are ready to spend 140% more than somebody that had the worst experiences. In addition to that, 92% of customers trust word-of-mouth referrals over advertising. So this is where that follow-up becomes absolutely key in making sure that our customers remember us long-term. Now, in addition to this, you have those 3 items that will help you completely change your game. Within 5 minutes. The first one, just listen more. Seriously, just shut the trap and let the customer speak. If they can speak and get out the whole message that they are trying to give, they will give you so much information that when it comes to regurgitating it back and confirming what they said, there's no possible way that you'll actually be able to go ahead and confirm everything. Because when people get comfortable, they just start yakking. And when they start yakking, this gives us the ability to just pull information from their life to be able to build off of it to present a vehicle that they can go ahead and go, oh yeah, absolutely, I'm totally in on this, right? But remember, listening leads to you educating the customer. So don't go, you're just telling them all about the vehicle, 3,000 points of the car. People don't want that, right? And then nobody buys the whole vehicle. They buy little pieces of the car, and then they finance the whole darn thing. And then also in the end, follow up like you're a human, that you actually care. Keep in mind, kind people and caring win the day. The whole idea of nice people finish last is a true statement, right? Now, are you going to get like 30 cars on the board this month? You might, actually, depending upon the volume of people that come on in and how well you are actually treating them. But if you change the mantra to introduce this slow conversation, the slow cooker of needs assessment, now we start to pick up on, okay, I know who you are. I figured you out. I can have a great conversation about your life, and I can get you being super, super happy, getting closer and closer and closer to that point of you giving yourself permission to just go ahead and say, yes, I absolutely need this. I'm going to go ahead and buy this, because people buy things when they're happy, right? Now, in addition to that, the last one here is a 10 to 15% revenue bump in your pay by simply adding in better customer satisfaction along the way. And so CX is such a huge thing when you deal with people on the daily. People, again, they avoid places where they don't feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable, you just don't go there. And you've been in that situation, many, 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 many times. So today, short podcast today, but I really wanted to go ahead and dive on into some statistics that really did matter that I know is going to change how you do your daily work. So if you can, please share the episode. Share it with a fellow salesperson that you think just simply needs to hear it. Somebody that's just running their mouth the whole time, that either A, you want just to be quiet, or you want them to actually genuinely just be a little bit more successful. But if you can, mash that subscribe button. Again, helps me help you, whether you're on the podcast or you're watching on YouTube. In addition to that, if you know that your customers can, or rather you or another sales consultant, if you know that a sales consultant could potentially use this, or your whole sales team, just tell them to go to autonerd.com, AUTOKNERD.com, and tell them, hey, subscribe. Because when we sell with kindness, when we lead with empathy, right, customers come to stay. Customers come to spend more. Customers come to buy at a far higher rate. All right. So go on out there, spread the love, spread the kindness, and show customers that, hey, you know what? When you come on in and take a seat, I actually do care. And I want to make sure that you buy, because if you don't, I don't eat. All right, so spread the love, spread the kindness. Short one this week. I'll be back with more later on this week, but you did get that bonus episode on Wednesday of that interview with AI. If you haven't heard that yet, go take a look. It was the last interview I just dropped on Wednesday. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.